me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
He's done it again. Good evening, folks. Karl Smith, the UK Hypnosis Academy. My fault. My apologies. There seems to be a technical fault with my finger and a bloody mute button. See, tonight we're going to be talking about working with children and hypnosis, right? So I'm going to say that again. My apologies for the past minute that I haven't been talking. So let me just go through that again. Briandon, hope you're well. Chris, hope you're well. Dave McHugh, Stevie Barker, Mario, Wendy, hope you're well. It's raining here too. Kenneth over in Arizona. Sheila over in Tirana. Good, good, good. Inner Focus, La Maggie, hope you're well. David McHugh, Jackie Brennan. Yeah, more non-verbals. So let me just explain something, right? That on this system, when I click the 60-second countdown, is that I could be doing a numerous number of things. And what I do is mute. And one top tip I'm going to give myself tonight is don't leave it on mute, Carl. The joys of working on your own. That's the key thing. Hi, Danny. Hi, Jules. Yeah, it's all those type of things. Hi, yay. Hi, Julie. Hope you're well. Hope you're fine. All's good here, by the way. Hi, Shane in Atlanta. So we're going to be talking about working with children tonight. One big thing that people do get themselves tizwazzy about. Guys, if you are streaming in from Facebook, please be reminded that if you haven't clicked on the button to authorize StreamYard to use your name, it will only come up Facebook user. So, for instance, hello, Carl. Hope you are well. This is a Facebook user. So I don't know who that is. So go, if you're on Facebook at the moment, just go back in. Jordan, hope you're well. Richard Ogden, hope everything's good. Good, good, good. So we're going to be talking about that. Guys, don't forget this is a membership site now. So if you'd like to join the membership site, please do. And you'll be getting behind the scenes stuff. There'll be more and more stuff coming up. I've got a diploma and stuff coming up. It's been a bit dry just lately due to the fact of nothing's really coming on. Hi, Jordan. High five back. Good. So the key thing is that there'll be tons of material. We're going to be recording the parts of my hypnosis diploma, and they're all going to be going behind the scenes as well for you people there that are members in the next few weeks. Guys, so yeah, all good, good, good. Hi, Patrick. Hope you're well. So yeah, so we're going to be talking about working with kids and that tonight. We're going to be talking about the one of the big things that I see people getting themselves in a right tiz was about. And I'm going to be going through some stuff, some techniques and some ideas. Some you may not have heard of, and I'm going to give you a couple of people to contact after this that I think that you would work quite well with. And it's you know, it's one of those beautiful techniques, and I'm going to show you something that most people wouldn't know about. Right, so working with kids, really powerful, you know, malleable. At that age, a lot of people are worried about, you know, what type of induction do I do with the child? What induction will I do here? What technique will I use here? The same as I'm going to tell you every night, guys and girls, is that never ever preempt a session. Right? Never preempt a session. Lots of people on here, you know, you'll see it in Facebook groups where they go, I'm going to try and say this without being too disrespectful. You can tell when somebody's not been properly trained, because what the first question they'll ask is that I've got a client next week. What technique should I use with this? All techniques will work with everything. All techniques will work with everything. They may tell you that they specialize in a certain area, but all techniques will work with anything. Just try it. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people get caught up with this, is that all techniques will work with everything. Right? You can use most techniques to just get away with anything on that moment in time. And it's the same goes with kids, is that people get themselves really fizzy about this, about what technique should I use? What induction should I use? I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I never use hypnosis with the children. Never, ever, ever, ever use it with children. Never, never do I. And I'll tell you for why. Because hypnosis is nothing but pure focus and imagination. We know that. Hypnosis is nothing but pure focus and imagination. Okay, so we get them to focus on it. We get them to imagine something, and then we change the perception of the way that we are there. That's the way I simply look at it, like that. There was a massive argument. By the way, if you're not in Hypnotic Masterminds, which is my Facebook group, there was a thread that exploded the other day, which was quite funny. But the thing is that, and you're more than welcome to join it, by the way. It's called Hypnotic Masterminds on Facebook. One of the key things is that I don't use hypnosis with kids because their powerful imagination, if I can fascinate them and keep them focused, fascination and focus are the same thing, but fascinated for a short period of time and engage their imagination, then guess what? I have what I need to do. Kids are brilliant at it. Kids are amazing at being able to be just, pushed, to be able to be tweaked, to be able to change perceptions, to be able to look at things in a different perspective and maybe do things as well. Great things with them on that spot. And it's very easy to do. And a lot of people sit there and think, well, I need to do this, this, and this. My personal opinion about working with kids is that my job is to teach them why they're doing what they're doing in the session. I explain to them about fears and phobias, anxiety, stress and strains, and I ask them about bullying and all of the things that we would do. We're talking under 13s here. I would say under 13-year-olds. Is that the key thing is that for me is that when working in those age brackets, if I'm working with kids, if I just give you the age bracket now, I wouldn't go any less than 4, and I wouldn't go any more than 13. That's when we're talking about on this subject here. The key thing about this is about using their powerful imagination to do it. And there's so many ways of doing it. So I'm going to go through that tonight. I'm going to take you through some techniques and some ideas that I've learned on my travels, and some great ideas. And I'm going to put you in touch with people that you could that you can go away and go research. Somebody just put on their Facebook the first YouTube channel you listed for perks doesn't work. It's probably because you're on a mobile device. So let's talk about safety first. Working with kids, there's more dangerous therapists out there. There's Julie, you may work with 5 to 16-year-olds. I'm just merely giving parameters tonight, just for on there. There's no point working with kids under 4 years old. I can tell you that. I would be brutally honest. I don't think I've ever seen anyone under 6 years old. I'll be brutally honest, working with them. Safety parameters first is that I'm lucky here because I have. Let me just spin there. I have a door there, and I have my other office just there, and so you'll get an idea what I mean by that. Is that when I'm working with in my therapy room, which is on this side, and I've got my coffee room and all that on this side. If I am working with children, what I will do is use a small chair and put them right up against the door, and so mummy and daddy can still see them. And I find it's because you never know. All it takes is just one person, one drop of oil, just to ruin you and your life and everything. And I tend to just put little uns on a stool here, and then so parents can see me, but they can still have that clear line of sight, so they can still see them. And also as well, you can talk to the child without the parents listening. Normally, and I'm a parent of 3, right? Normally it's the parents that are problems, right? That's the thing. The perceptions are, don't forget, they're huge perceptions. With children, their perceptions are completely and utterly different to what an adult is. A lot of people forget that. I don't know why, but they do. At the end of the day, if somebody was to make a large noise out the back, I'd turn around. It'd probably scare the living crap out of Jack, who's 2 years old. You know, and you've got to remember that perceptions change. So when people see, hear, and do things when they're children, those things are stuck in there. Anyway, when I'm working with children, I will have the child sat in my office and the parents of line of sight. The other thing that I do as well is, if that's not working or I'm not happy about a scenario, good evening, John, is that what I will do is set my GoPro up. I will set my GoPro up and I will have the GoPro pointing towards me in my office. That's one thing I've learned to do as well, is that literally just to set that up. I'll stick my GoPro on, it's pointing towards me. I'll tell the parents exactly what I'm doing, and I will do that on the videotape, and then I will start the process then. And I won't even mention the kid's name during it, but I will mention the adult's name during it. And that's really for my reasoning. And what I do then with that information is I then put it on a secure drive. That's then secured under GDPR, which is data protection, basically, in the UK and Europe now. And I'll put that on there. So when you're working with children, I know that I'm teaching some people to suck eggs here. I really am. I'm really sorry. But I'm just giving people ideas about how the way I work. Is that I've got clear line of sight to the parents. They can see the kid. They can see what's going on. But as a backup, because you never know how psychotic people are in this world, especially some therapists that I know, is that I will set up a GoPro just to capture me. So anyone who says I did this, this, and this, I can go, well, there's the video of me just sat in my chair. You never know. You never ever know what could happen, and it's the same as with therapists. With therapists, I've done it again. It's the same as when we're working with people. It doesn't take long for somebody to make an accusation or accuse you of anything, male or female, and your life is over, even if you've never been proven guilty. You know, it doesn't take long. The power of social media will kill and corrupt a career now, even if it's right or wrong, because people aren't interested in whether you did or did not. They're interested in scathing attacks and just highlighting their own poor mental health. So I just take every precaution I can to protect myself in any scenario. So I had that clear line of sight, and then I set the GoPro up, and then I video me only. And then what I do then is I just secure that on a secure drive, and then if in eventuality I need it, it's there and then. But at no point is the kid videoed in any way. It's just there for me, pointing towards me. So that might be something to think about. Some of you have not done it. Some people have asked me before. There was a question last week. Somebody sent me an email saying that they're thinking about having CCTV put up in their office. Yeah, the problem you got then is that you've then got data of somebody on there. And like I said a minute ago, I never mentioned the kid's name. I mentioned the parent's name. And on the consultation form, I will annotate videoing the process today, you know, just for little things like that. So just the little things that you can just put in there to protect yourself. However, there's the nasty bit done, because that's the reality of this world. It wouldn't take long. All it takes is for somebody to write something shitty on your wall or crap on your Google thing, and it's completely wrong, completely misinterpreted, and your life can people will end their life. Being an ex-copper, I think I'm a little bit more. I think I look out for this stuff a little bit more, because I know, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well, the malice that some people have got. And when the cheese is slid off the cracker, the parents most probably, then they will do it. I've had about 2 years ago. This is I don't mind telling this story. About 2 years ago, this is why I'm no. In fact, no, it must be about 5 years ago now. The reason I'm telling you these safeties is because of this. Is that I had a young girl turn up in my office, and her father was an electrician, a local lad, and he said, "Can you help my daughter?" I said, "Yeah, bring her over and I'll help you out." And I did that. I did everything I did. I put line of sight in. Everything was fine. Everything was going well. Sat there like that, and I got Peppa Pig out. And she said, "What's that?" "Hi, David." And I said, oh, it's Peppa Pig. I'm just going to show you something. I'm going to show you how the electricity works in your body, blah, 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 blah. And went through my whole pre-talk. And we're sitting there. Dad is sitting there over there, and he's like looking through and nodding and laughing. And while we're doing stuff, and it's all well and good. And we got the Peppa Pig out and said, right, hold Peppa Pig's hand and touch my finger like that. And it plays Ring a Ring a Rosies. I don't know if you know, it plays Ring a Ring a Rosies. And all of a sudden, it was quite apparent that this young pup, and the reason I'm telling you this is because there's twofold. A, because of how quick it went, really deteriorated quickly, and B, qualifying your clients. First off, the first thing that happened is that it played Ring a Ring a Rosies. And the first thing that she came out with is that you're making money off the death of children. How does that make you feel? This is a 13-year-old girl talking to me with their father sitting there like that. And I said, well, what did you mean? She goes, Ring a Ring a Rosies. She goes, that song was made about dying children. I said, well, that's not what we're here tonight. I'm trying to dig myself out of this. I'm trying to think, ain't a minute, where's this going? And all of a sudden, she just started getting really anti towards me. And this is why I now introduce the camera, is that she just stood up and just started ranting and raving at me. And her father came through and said, what's going on? I said, well, tell your dad. And she went, well, he's got this Peppa Pig and he made me touch my finger. And then what happened was it played Ring a Ring a Rosies. And then what happened then is that I mentioned about how the death of children, and he got really angry. And I said, no, I didn't. And at that point, then I went, this session's over, to the guy that brought her in. Anyway, the guy, I keep nearly saying his name. I said to him, you know, you're going to have to take her away. I'm not working with her like that. Anyway, she stayed around for a little bit longer, running around, having a headless chicken moment and all that lot, you know, ranting and raving, stamping her feet, typical teenager stuff I'm used to. But when I spoke to her father, the first thing that I found out that I didn't do, and now I do make sure, is I qualify the client, making sure that they want it. Because even though as a parent, we want the best for our children, we always want the best, we want to help little ones and all that type of stuff, they may not want it. That girl on that night did not want it. As far as she was concerned, her father was a pig, her mother was a pain in the ass, and every other human was wrong except her, and I was just as bad as them. And that if I'd have pre-qualified, I wouldn't have got myself into a situation. Now, to some of you, you might think, well, that's nothing, Carl. But it doesn't take long for something like that to spiral out of control. And that's why I put the safety measures in front of me now. I always put the safety measures in now. And if anyone else has got any incidents like working with this, then please let us know. At the end of the day, Dad was fine. He was more than happy that I dealt with it the right way and stopped the session due to the fact of her attitude. But it wasn't until I spoke to him afterwards and watched her that I realized that she didn't want to be there. And the reason I put those safety parameters in place is just to protect you, because it doesn't take long for some tit to say something because of their low self-esteem, their confidence, financial gains, or they just might want to be part of a herd. They might want to be part of a pack. They might want to make a friend. And it doesn't take long for people to accuse people. I've seen therapists get accused of stuff that they've not even done anything wrong. And they've just got, they get accused. Don't take long. And but on the same tokens, always gather evidence. The key thing that I'm going to give you tonight is gather that evidence, so in eventuality it does. And I know I've started off on a sour note. And for those people that have never watched me before, I'm not normally this down and dreary, but I hope you get why I'm giving you my safety parameters first when working with kids, because you just never know if they've been forced there by their loving parents to help them out because they believe that you're it. And then all of a sudden they get stuck in that chair and they don't want to be there. And they'll say and do anything in their powerful little imaginations to get out of that chair. And like, for instance, Peppa Pig, that's the exact one. That there was the start and a trigger of something playing Ring a Ring a Rosies. That's broken. Poor Peppa. Stan, my dog's killed her. Guys, if you've got anything to add, please make in the comments. If you're enjoying it, by the way, if you're enjoying this series over the past month, put your thumbs up. Just give us anything on there. And, at the end of the day, I will go into it now. I'm going to start talking about techniques and ideas. So I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that literally, I do that to save yourself. I can't tell you enough. As a ex-police officer, I've been to many a scenario where people have been accused of stuff. They haven't done it. They haven't done it, and their life has just been absolutely turmoil. And that's why I gather evidence. If anything happens, that's the copper part of me. I always gather evidence so I can always supply it at a later date. Yet false accusations do ruin lives, and it's something as simple as that. You've got to think safety first. You've got to think about your safety. You've got to sit there and think about this. You have, because all it takes is just for them to go, she slapped the back of my hand, or he grabbed my hand. Those things there get spun out of control really quickly by arseholes. All right. Richard, as a foster carer, I'm always on my guard with allegations. It can happen over nothing with the young children and get the hump about something. You are absolutely right. And adults are like that as well. I can tell you that now, is that it doesn't take long for something very simplistic to get blown out of proportion very quickly and then turn into a car crash that you didn't really want. Leslie, hi, Carl. How much of your pre-talk do you do with your children 7 to 11? I do the whole lot. I do the same pre-talk, left and the right hemisphere, change tonality, turn it into a bit of fun and all that type of stuff. Put the daddy head on, like, yeah, and just imagine your head's doing this, like that. That's what I do. For those people who don't know what I'm on about this, go have a look at my pre-talk video about how I do a pre-talk about the left and the right hemisphere. And in doing that, and I've also got my little snow globe as well. So what I do then is that when we've done the work today, some of those pieces will start to move around and then start to settle down. It's a great metaphor, this, by the way. And what you do then is you just say that all those things that we've spun around today is that what we're going to do is we're going to allow them to settle down. Same as in any session, really. I do this. I go like this. I go. So that's what our hypnosis session did today. It rattled your head up. And then what I did then is that all we're going to do is allow all those pieces just to drift down, sink down over the next few minutes, next few hours, next few days. And as they come down, they're going to fall into their proper places and give you that clearness and that clarity that you want. Watch Amazon now burst out into going out and buying yourself a snow globe. Yeah, but that's the point as well. But it's kids' toy, you know, Peppa Pig, Little Amazing Ball. I let them sit there playing with this as well while they're doing it. But let's come back to this. Now we've got the miserable, dreary bit out of the way. Right, David's just asked that. Ask the child, you know why you come to see me. That's a valid point as well. And that only, you know, you have to qualify. You have to qualify what you know, the client. Same as anybody there. Simon, I'm guessing it's the same as for all minors, i.e. under 18, do get written permission from parent and guardian. Well, on that note, Simon, if I have got anyone that's under 18 that I'm working with, that when I've got my GoPro on and it's pointing towards me, I do my consultation. By going, right, so we're going to be doing this. Are you happy to be here? Blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to mention your name. Mum and Dad, are you happy for your child to be here? And I do that all on video. That's all done on video. So I say their name out loud. So if I've got a consultation sheet and it's got their name on it, I'll say, we've got your child here today. The camera's looking at me. It's not looking at them. You're more than welcome to look at the footage straight afterwards. However, blah, 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 are you happy for me to go forward with this session now? Yes. Are you happy for me to record this session with only me in view? Yes. If your child stands up and goes on the camera, I will let you know, but you're more than welcome to have a copy of it any time you choose and wish, and I will give it to you. That's exactly what I do there. So when I'm getting my permissions, I do that over there. If I'm working on Zoom, I record it on Zoom, do the same thing. How do you pre-qualify a child? Now, this is not meant to sound really, really wrong, but it is. Do you want to be here? It literally is as much as that, Sheila. Do you want to be here and do you want to feel better? If the answer is same as when I'm talking about working with clients, that spontaneous yes means work's going to be done. That I can do this. That I'm going to show them, you know, methods and strategies that they can do it. It's got nothing to do with me. My job is only just to sit in a chair and guide them. Their job is to do the work. All right. So Sheila, I hope you don't mean that. It literally is. How do I qualify if a child wishes to be worked with me on that day? Is, do you want to be here? Do you want to change? Do you want this to happen today? Would you like to get rid of the naughty noise? Would you like to stop the bedwetting and all of those type of things? Very, very, just that, it's just as simple as that. And that's how you pre-qualify. Listen out for the, well, they're not interested. If you're fighting them, don't bother. Go down that strategy there of just asking them there. Okay. So, guys, if you've got any more questions, please pose them. Okay, so let's talk about techniques. Let's talk about some ideas. So the first one is, I'm going to just tell you now, because I'm going to get it out of the way, is EFT. Is EFT, emotional freedom techniques. Now, why would I say emotional freedom techniques? Because we've discussed this already, all right? Now, in this session, don't forget, a child is their imagination is going to be fired up already. So I'm just going to use EFT. I do not see the point of using hypnosis per se. I don't see the point in it whatsoever. We play fun and games like we would do. I would do things in my sessions that would just teach them to go away. Now, here's the interesting thing. Once I've had the consultation with the child, normally when I'm teaching EFT, I'll get the parents to come in with me. So what I do is that I'll do the consultation and the chit chat so they can have a word with somebody else and tell me how bad mummy and daddy and all that lot are, right? Just in case there is something going on toward, right? And they want to tell me, then I will then invite the parents in to then be taught EFT. I teach the parents EFT. The whole session revolves around them learning EFT and sleep talk. And I'm going to come to that in a moment. The key thing is that if I can teach the parents and the child and turn it into a game, because I'm the third person, anyone who's a parent here will know if you tell your child something, they will probably go like that. But if a third person comes in, they're like, oh, right then, and they'll do it. How many of you have ever handed your kids over to somebody and gone, oh, they're such a beautiful child, they're an amazing child, so polite and pleasant, and you go, well, ain't my child. But the thing is that happens, doesn't it? So the thing is that I'll answer it in a minute, Wendy. The key thing is that I will teach them emotional freedom techniques. Now, it's irrespective of whether I think it's a pattern interrupt, or you think it's energy, you think it's unicorn dust, or you think it's elves at the bottom of the garden. I don't care. But it's a great way to teach self-hypnosis to them, because that's what EFT is, in my personal opinion, self-hypnosis, right? So what I do is I go through that. And if you don't know what emotional freedom techniques is, if you go back into my lives on my YouTube channel, there is a full lesson on EFT. There's a full lesson on EFT on this channel. So you can go away and go learn it. Funny enough, I had somebody that I've known for about 10, 15 years asked me a question last night. And I just sent them the link to my EFT, the EFT, and just said, learn that and then do that and then teach a child that. Any problems, I'll step in and we can do it over Zoom. But I think that teaching them EFT is fun. That's the key thing about this. If you're working with a child and you make it fun, or if you're working with a snotty teenager and you turn it into engineering, or you turn it into some fantasy land, whatever your imagination is, you can do that. Hi, Max. And the key thing is that that's really, really important that you get that across. So if I've got a young lad in and he's going like that, and then I do the Peppa Pig thing, because don't forget, my pre-talk is only about building a belief up. My pre-talk is only about building a belief up. So if I build that belief up and get all that up, and I've got a young snotty nose lad in, and I go, oh, look at this energy and all that engineering that goes into it, I'll start him off that way. If it's a young girl and I'm working with a young pup and I'm sitting there like that and I go, God, that energy, all that. And you can tell, can't you? Parents tell this stuff, if they've got little fairies or something on their bag, or they've got like some snotty nose key ring, some Grolsch thing, or a VW badge that they've nicked off the front of a car, then you can do it that way. That's the way you engage with them, that way. But I changed the session to do that, to fit in with that child, and then do that. It's all we do with our clients anyway. But the key thing is I teach them emotional freedom techniques, whether you believe in it or what. Victoria, Vic, do you know how hard it is to find a Peppa Pig? Go to Amazon and go get an energy stick. Go to Amazon and go get an energy stick. It's the same thing. Horrible noise, but on the same token. I have actually been to a company called Alibaba and asked them to supply me with my own version of Peppa Pig, because you can't get Peppa Pig anymore. So we're going to be getting a load of those in, some stuff that therapists can use in their room, like that. Cool. So yeah, curtail it, and I teach them EFT, and I get the parents to do it as well, and I get them to write it down and all of those type of things. And I give them just a little map, the map of doing it, and I tell them how fun it is, and I get them involved by tapping that karate chop point. And if you don't know about it, and then getting the energy fired up, keeping their enthusiasm, and that's what you've got to do. And I've always found that with kids, and that, probably because I'm a parent, I can do that quite quickly. And you know, I can just fit into any mold and help out. But EFT, it really is a fun way to teach kids self-help. And let's just discuss what Wendy asked, what kind of things would you see a child for? Harassment, bullying, stress, not liking their parents. I've worked with foster children before, that, you know, they're just a little bit low self-esteem and confidence. But everything that I deal with, I firmly believe is that is low self-esteem and confidence. And that's why people go into that they, you know, people do things because of low self-esteem and confidence. That's the way I always look at things. Every time somebody comes in, low self-esteem and confidence. Whatever you tell me when you come in the door, it's low self-esteem and confidence. That's the way I always look at things. Why did you start smoking? Because they wanted to be part of a pack, not children. But why did they do that? They did it because of that. Why are you doing this? Why are you being like this? Well, because they want more attention. The other thing as well. Hi, Alan. Hope you're well, buddy. The other thing as well is that you know, anything can come up. Bedwetting. You can get. There's so much that is there, but one of the key things, and I don't know if little boy's watching at the moment, but one of the key things that I always get people to look at as well is nutrition. Nutrition is one of the biggest things that if you can find out if they've got intolerances and stuff like that. My advice to you, right, is if you do not know a nutritionist or somebody who deals with intolerances in your area, connect with them and start working with them, because the intolerances and stuff like that, it's just unbelievable. Things like air fresheners, they can cause depression. Some of the air fresheners, you know, the plugins that you put into the wall, if you do your research, some of those plugins actually fire off formaldehyde when it's being released. There's a product similar to formaldehyde causing depression. Dust, fruits, things like that are massive, and there's been massive studies in schools with kids that have they've found that dust and stuff like that, certain cleaning products as well, can trigger all this stuff off. Then we haven't even got into ADHD, autism, and all down that spectrum there. We haven't even got down there, and that's something that you want to look at as well. While he just thinks of something else on the tips of his toes. And for those people that are interested, while he talks, is here we go. Right. So there's a lady I'm not going to introduce you to, right? If you contact her, just tell her it's me that sent her, right? And I just thought about this on the tips of my feet, is that there's a book, right? There's a book called Autism, Asperger's, and Anarchy, right? The Ringmaster's Tale, right? I'm just going to put this up now. She's on Facebook. Her name's Wallace. I'm going to put that up there, right? She won't mind me doing this. Because if you want to hear a story about a mother, oh my God, if you want to hear a story about a mother and a therapist trying to come to terms with stuff, go have a look at a lady called Helen Wallace Ellis. So it's Helen Wallace, WALLACE dash ILES, I believe that to be. Or go on Amazon and go find a book called Autism, Asperger's, and Anarchy, The Ringmaster's Tale. There is an absolute pucker story about autism and a mother that has 4 children that all grew up with Asperger's, ADHD, autism, and everything like that. And it's a very powerful story. I had the privilege, I was doing a presentation, she was on there with me, and she's got a great book on there. And she's got a group called Autism All Stars, I believe it is. Yeah, there it is there. Autism All Stars. If you're interested, if you're interested in autism, ADHD, and all of that type of stuff there, go have a look, have a chat with Helen. Her story is so empowering, and it didn't matter because it tells you about the fight that she had with schools and about why they do things, and some of the stuff that she was going through, and giving to the schools, and they were just saying, no, it's not that, it can't be that, it can't be that. But then they were coming up and going, they were finding out in the background and educating the schools. That's how bad it was. It's the same as with Ryan, who's in my life. You know, he's an outstanding little lad. Stick him in a school environment. He goes, they've given him every label under the sun: ADHD, autism, all of that type of stuff. And you've got to be aware of those things as well. But if you do not have a nutritionist in your area, somebody who can do toxins and somebody who can do intolerances, then go do that. Because like GPs do an amazingly great job. However, it does take an enormous amount of time for that to be done. So what you could do is go find somebody who does that form of testing. Even a thing called bioresonance testing. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's called bioresonance testing. It's a really good way of finding out if people have got intolerances and stuff like that. No pain, no blood, no nothing like that. And on Facebook, funny enough, I bought one the other day. It's called the Intolerance Lab, I think it is. See how I think on my toes here? It's called the Intolerance Lab. I think they do it in America as well. We can just send off a little sample of your blood, and then what they do is they just do it that way. There's one in England called Intolerance Lab. I think it's called Intolerance. Yeah, it is Intolerance Lab. I thought so. I bought it the other day. It's just so I could read the material because I am a sick puppy. Wait for that to load. So yeah, so have a look at Helen's. If you didn't quite get it, I'll put it up in the link later on. Little things like this, Intolerance Lab as well. Because they're so vitally important in kids, because, you know, at the end of the day, kids are pumped full of chocolate. They're pumped full of everything like that. Joseph, I don't know about that, my friend. It may well be blocked in certain locations. I'm not too sure. Let me find out about you. How young can hypnosis on a hypnosis client be? Well, if you look at what we were discussing the other day in the group about hypnosis is all about imagination. It's all it is, just imagination. So hypnosis can be manipulated. It's about in any way. You can use hypnosis in its format however you like, but there's no necessity for you to go through the whole rigmarole of an induction and all that type of stuff. You don't need it. You just don't need it. You don't need to go through that whole rigmarole. All right. And you can go as much as you want, as long as they've got their imagination. I would say 5 years is where you can start, because that's when the fairy tales and all those type of things there. All right. That's all those there. Oh, there you go. Jackie Barber does intolerance testing as well. But you know, there's all of those type of things there that you can go look for. Lots of people in these groups. The reason I mention that is that they go, what technique am I used? Okay, what intolerances? What are the underlying issues? What are the intolerances that this young pup's got? And they go like that. Well, don't know. I was just going to do a technique. What's the point of that? What is the point of that? What is the point? Go find out what the intolerances are, what's going on, and then do it that way. What is the, what the GP said, what the doctor said. What's your best advice for hypnosis with kids with autism? Now, this comes back to it. I found that using EFT, emotional freedom techniques, is the best way to get them involved, because this is an ongoing process. Get them to use their imagination. So you could do a simple guided meditation. You could do a simple guided imagination type thing, where you get them to imagine the thing, that the problem that they're smashing it up. I had a young pup in here, about 13 years old. He was about God, it must be a year ago now, about a year ago. And we just got him to imagine putting a bully in a cardboard box. No, he'd left the school. That was it. He'd left the school where there was a bully and all that type of stuff. But the emotions and the feelings followed him. And we got him to box all the emotions up, put this person that was playing him up in a box. And then for some strange reason, he pushed it off a cliff. And then a megalodon ate it. A meg, like a big shark. Anyway, that's his imagination. Kids have got such a powerful imagination. If you just toe punt them in the right direction, they'll do the rest. I don't treat children any different than what I do with adults, except I don't bother doing the induction because it's such a powerful thing that you're doing already. Plus, I do the EFT, I do the emotional freedom techniques. The other thing that I was going to bring up for you guys today is what some of you may not have done, and there's two people I'm going to send you to. There's two people I'm going to send you to, and that's called Sleep Talk. Has anybody in here heard of Sleep Talk before? Sleep Talk is by Joanna Goulding down in Australia. And Joanna, she developed this in the because of her son who had difficulties when he was growing up, if I remember the story correctly, and then she found a way of doing things, and it's a retweak of a retweak of a retweak. But however, Sleep Talk. If there's two people, I'm going to send you to. These are the people. One is Beryl Komar. If you type in Beryl Komar, and if you go on Facebook and type in Beryl Komar, you'll find her. Beryl. No, Beryl. Beryl, Beryl, isn't it? Yeah, Beryl Komar. Or for those hypnotists out there, Cheryl Ellman, the daughter-in-law of Dave Ellman. For those hypnotists out there who know who Dave Ellman is. She is the daughter-in-law, Cheryl Ellman. You can get hold of her via Facebook. And if you contact her via Facebook, she is the daughter-in-law of it. And she teaches it. And she teaches that. She teaches sleep. She teaches Sleep Talk. And it's a brilliant way for young parents to work like that. And if anyone ever gets the chance to work with Beryl or Cheryl, go do it. But if you're down in Australia, go type in Sleep Talk. And it should come up with Joanna, and you should be able to find Beryl's details, and you should be able to find Cheryl Ellman's details as well, right? Brilliant way. Now, it's all psychosensory touch and suggestions. However, when you're doing this, when you're showing Sleep Talk, you're not actually doing Sleep Talk in a session. See, a lot of people think that when somebody turns up at a session, that my job is just to do hypnosis. No, it's not. My job is to educate. My job is to educate. So if I've got parents in the room, I will educate them so they can bugger off and keep doing this. Yeah. So if I teach them emotional freedom techniques, they then can go, they can keep that repetitive cycle going. Or did you do your homework? Did you do that tapping thing that Karl told you to do that makes the energy fire around your body? No, I ain't done it yet. Do it now. So when you go to bed, you can do that. Sleep Talk is about psychosensory touch. It's a psychosensory touch, and it's about suggestion work as well. And the idea is that there's a lot more. It's not fair for me to teach or do that, but if I give you an idea, if I give you a rough idea, then you'll know roughly where it's going, and you can see if it fits into what you want to do. All right. It's about setting off and about doing the psychosensory touch around the face. Now, some of you may think that doing this has been brought out by somebody new and rubbing your arms and all that type of stuff. No, this was done in the early 70s, done way before that. But the idea is that what you're doing is it will, as you rub, and any parent knows, if you rub gently and you do this and you do that, what you're doing is firing off lots of neurotransmitters, oxytocin, all of the other things that fire off in the body, and then doing that. And all you're doing as a parent is, as the child sleep goes into a certain sleep pattern, which you get taught, as they hit a certain sleep pattern, you then conduct this while they're asleep. And the studies that they've done with the people they've got have had dramatic results in that certain part there. Now, some would argue that you can't do anything when you're asleep. That's fine. Some people argue that you can. I couldn't care less, right? However, Sleep Talk is when the child is just about to nod off. We will do that. If you're a parent, you'll sit there doing this, rubbing away. That's it. Just go to sleep. And that's me doing it to myself, because the kids won't go to sleep. But the thing is that you're doing this, you do that, and then what you're doing then is you're doing, and then adding suggestions to it. there's a lot more to it, and I don't want to sound like I'm cutting you short tonight, but it's not my job to sit here and to teach it verbatim, because that wouldn't be right for the trainer. But the thing is, if you go to Cheryl, or you go to Joanna, or you go to Beryl, they will give you a much more lowdown. I'm sure there's some videos on YouTube about it as well. But sleep talk is a very, very powerful thing that you teach the adults to do. So you're getting paid to teach the adults. You don't have to do a session. Same as when people come in here and work with kids. Majority of the time, I might do some work with a child sitting in there in my room, but on the same token, my job is really to teach the parents about how to do this themselves and to get by it themselves, and to edge that child on as well, to do more stuff with them. So yeah, so that sleep talk, if you get the chance, go have a look at it. If you're not friends with Cheryl Elman on Facebook or on any other means, contact them. Go to the Dave Elman Institute and just contact them, and then do that. I have seen the goodie bag idea with Freddie, and I believe, I'm not going to go through it now, I've seen Freddie do it in Vegas. Me and Freddie go to Vegas. No, I didn't. I saw it in London. I see him do it in London. Go to his YouTube channel. That's only fair that I do that. All right. Yosef, great to have you on board, my friend. For those people that are watching there, and everyone else who's a new member, thanks very much, Yosef. He's just joined the membership scheme. Don't forget, guys, if you want to have more information, more background stuff, please join as a member. If you want to support the channel, it's only $5, $9, or $90 if you want to have a mentoring session with me. That reminds me. Use the VPN. Good lad. Good thinking. Thanks for letting me know that. So yeah, so the idea is going, and thanks very much, Joseph, for your support, and everybody else that supports me, by the way. Welcome. Right, so yeah, go have a look at sleep talk. It's about starting off the neurotransmitters, firing off, and then repeating certain statements, doing certain stuff with the child, and then doing things during the night. It's a very, very powerful way of doing stuff. So let me just go back on this. Key fundamentals is one, protect yourself when you're working with kids. I told you about that little shit that I was working with. You know, she didn't want to be there. Qualify the client in every respect. Qualify the client. And like I said earlier to somebody, my apologies, is that the easiest way to qualify somebody is ask them, do you want to be there? That initial yes, or well, will tell you everything about your client. And then going about it that way. So qualify the client. Also as well, safety parameters. If you can have the parents watching, do it. If you've got a GoPro or a small camera, please think about using that. And so it's pointing towards you. And when you're doing your consultations, you can sit there. And if you choose to mention their name, it's just a personal thing for me. I just mentioned the parents' names, but I have the video. Yeah, the video is pointing towards me. Are you happy for me to work with your child at the moment? Yeah. Are you happy with me to video this and give you a copy of the video if you so choose? Yes. All of those type of things, and like that. Yeah. And literally just do it that way. The other thing as well is get them to sign off a bit of paper as well. The first thing first is that what I want that kid to do is know that if there is something going wrong, it may well be the parent. I've never had it in my hypnosis career, but I have had it in my policing career when a child tells you something and you have to react. And that's something I'm going to deal with in a moment. Do I charge less? No, Maxine. No, I do not. No. So that's I wouldn't charge any less. It's still the same price as an adult. It's a session. It's a session, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, it's a safety line of sight for the parents, and then teach the parents this stuff. If you're going to that's a bit of Norfolk coming out of me then. Oh, he's a bit of Norfolk boy. If you're going to work with children, have them line of sight, get the parents in as quick as you can, and start teaching them as well. All right, start teaching them what they need to know. EFT or sleep talk, and if you go onto YouTube, I'm sure you'll find sleep talk and a lot of it on there as well. So you can go do that. But it is a brilliant thing. And the reason I bring it up is because a lot of people don't know about it. But Beryl Komar and Cheryl Ellman teach it. So let me just go through this. Carl, at what age would you consider using proper hypnosis? What is the youngest you've ever experienced? I wouldn't do anyone. I don't do anyone. But theatrical hypnosis, I don't really work with anyone under 15, buddy. If I'm working with let's say 5 to 13, I tend to just do to turn it into an experience more than going through the theatrics of a hypnosis induction, all that type of stuff. Right, David, good question. If the parents are within earshot of the child, they may not open up. How does that work? That's why I have them in that room there, so they've got line of sight and the kid in there. And then what I do then is I have a quick chat with them so they're not within earshot. If a parent says, no, I want to be in there, say, well, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But could you stand there while I just talk to Litlin and just listen to what they've got to say? Because it would really, really help my session today. And then literally, sorry, Mario, take care, Mario. See you tomorrow. You know, you've just got to have that moment. I think you've just got to have that moment, because if there is something untoward going on, then you'll figure it out then. But I tend to do that. I tend to have them just within line of sight and then invite them in if they want to. If I've got a parent demanding, then that's fine. It's their money. They've paid it. And I will explain, well, I did need this opportunity, but you've said no, so I can't do anything about that. But I will do that. Good. So if the done that one. I hope that answers your question. I tend to have the first 5 minutes if I can with the child, and then what I'll do then is just do that. The good thing about it as well is that if I am recording a session on my GoPro, I can then send them that copy anyway, so then they can watch that copy later on. So if they're doing all of this, then they can do that themselves. They can go replay it back. Mario, take care. Yeah, so with proper hypnosis, by the way, I don't go to theatrics. There's no point. There's no point. There's no point. They're so malleable. They're so brilliant. Their imagination's there. And hypnosis is only about imagination. It's only when we turn into adults that we start getting really big beliefs and all that type of stuff. I mean, don't forget, I'm 26 years old, I think, and I still believe in Santa Claus. You know, it's that, isn't it? It's that powerful imagination, that amazing part. You know, I've got Jack now, who's 2 years old, and William, who's 10. And William's still on Santa Claus land at 10 years old, and Jack's now coming through it too. And you're like, that this is brilliant. Yeah. Anyway, that's me. So yeah. So guys, you know, at the end of the day, my advice is go teach yourself EFT. Go have a look at my channel, and go teach yourself EFT, and then go have a look at Sleep Talk as well. All right, with Beryl Komar. Or Cheryl Ellman. If you're not friends with Cheryl Ellman, please. David, yeah, you're absolutely right. The suspicious person in me says if the parent will not let you have the 5 minutes, there's a problem. There is a huge problem, and there is. And that also leads on to what happens if the problem is a big problem. And this is where you've got to grow a set of belly big balls, because if you realize that somebody's intervening or not allowing the session to go further or impeding your progress, it's because there is probably a fundamental problem going on there. It could be anything. It could be physical to a sexual abuse. You never know. But the point is that if they get the opportunity to tell you that, at least you can then fob it off. You can literally just carry on with what you're doing, wait till they leave, and then phone the authorities. My personal opinion is, from my old job, that's a 3-9 job or a 911 job or a 101 job, whatever it is. That's a complete report it straight to the police. Not even signpost it. That's a straight police thing. That is, if you believe that to have happened. I wouldn't even get involved in the investigation. I would just say that this has been disclosed during this session. What are your trainer thought, and let the police deal with it. But then it comes down to malice, you know. There you go. So Kenneth asks, when you are working with an adult using regression techniques, when would you get the child to do? Oh, sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. When you get you into the childhood, do you have them change any techniques? No. All I do then is if I do any, when you get into childhood, do you have change techniques? No, all I do is I get them to just go back into the childhood and just give themselves a pat on the back and just do that. I haven't brought my glasses in. The longer I look at this screen, by the way, the more blurred it gets. So if I've got that right, when you get into childhood, all I do is get them to hug that little in and then tell them to stop doing what they're doing and make themselves feel a lot better about doing what they're doing. Yeah, that's all I do on there. It's similar to some of the stuff I've got on my YouTube channel already, Ken. So I hope that helps. Yeah, Simon, you're absolutely right. Yeah, signposting sometimes means to a doctor and all that, or wherever. My advice is that if you do get an inkling, it's just one of those things that you've got the right to do. You know, there's so many other ethical questions as well. But guys, any more questions? Because the weather is becoming atrocious around here, and I know that my internet will probably fail very shortly. So on that note, any more questions? Yosef, what did you just ask? Child or not, the environment has caused an issue. Trauma. They still have behaved the way you said. Change. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, child or not, if the environment has caused an issue and didn't want to use hypnosis for a long term, for example, if the parents are the cause of they are. Most parents are the cause of the shit. That's the problem. But that's not the parents' fault per se. It's the perception of the child. You know, one child, might do that. So what Nicola's just asked. So what would the structure be? Pre-talk, maybe a metaphor, and then teach tapping. Absolutely, yeah. Get them to go on a little mystical, magical journey. Get them to imagine what it feels like just to destroy all of the negative things that have been holding them up. Just get them to imagine like having like a little plastic hammer or something like that they can beat up all of these things and go along. A little metaphorical journey like that, would work a treat. That's what I would do. That's all I ever do. And then just do the tapping. Yeah, I thought I might be. Guys, I really do think I'm going to lose my connection, and we're actually on the hour, which it couldn't have done any better, but we have got torrential rain here, and I don't have land Wi-Fi. Mine's via satellites. So I'm going to have to love you and leave you in a second, I think. Yeah, creative ego work does work really, really good. Yeah, just use their powerful imaginations. Guys, before I get slammed off, guys, thanks very much. Don't forget to like it on the YouTube channel, share it around with people, and don't forget, thanks for everybody who supports this channel. If you're not a member yet, please join. There's going to be stuff in the background. I'm going to be going live on my diploma, and I'm going to be streaming live some of the diploma as well, and some of the stuff we do there. David Banfield, last question. Have you ever found if some kids are just attention seekers? As an ex-police officer, 95% of the shit I dealt with was yes, absolutely. And that goes for a lot of hypnotherapists. So yeah, no, that you're absolutely right. Look, I hope that gives you a different perspective. I hope that gives you a different perspective on the way to work, and it gives you some nuggets. And then we'll go from there. But guys and girls, at the end of the day, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I shall see you at 7:30 tomorrow. If you've got any comments or questions, please put me in there. I always go through them in the morning, and I try to answer as many people as I can. So guys, take away what you can. Don't forget, contact Cheryl or Beryl on Cheryl or Beryl. They sound like a right thing there, don't they? To discuss WASI, to discuss sleep talk. And then go about it that way. Brilliant tool, nice little tool as well. It's all about psychosensory touch. Some people tell you it's a new thing. No, it's not. Guys, on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. Before I do lose this, and I will see you tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. UK time, and then go from there. Oh, what is the topic tomorrow? Well, good question, well presented. While I've still got you online, let's just do this. StreamYard. Tomorrow is I've left it open as a Q&A. It's a Q&A tomorrow. So if you've got any questions, please, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow it's just a Q&A. So if you've got any questions, if it's on business, on techniques, any ideas, anything like that, please, please, please do. Just get them ready for tomorrow, and I'll answer as many questions as I can. These Q&As I found really interesting because some of them, they spark off other different things. So what I will do is I will get as much as I can done tomorrow. So tomorrow's a Q&A. Got any questions, please ask them, and then we'll go from there. Guys, with much love to you and your families and all around you. Be safe out there, and don't forget, go out there and practice. And when you finish practicing, go practice some fucking more. And you know it. Guys, if you're not members yet, join a membership. Thanks very much for everybody on the greens there that are all members. You're all gems, you're all stars. Thank you very much. And I'll see you tomorrow for the Q&A at 7:30 tomorrow. Guys, be safe. Take care.